Yeah, after the game, we didn't think it was going to be too serious, so I'm glad everything's going to be all right.
How would you assess where you guys are at after 20 games, particularly in contrast to where you were at last year?
Well, when you're asking after a three-game losing streak, it's a little disappointing. It's kind of two different halves. Our first 10 games were really, really good, and our last 10, we've had major slippage at both ends. So I think it's a little difficult to see where we are after 20 games. At this moment, we're not playing our best basketball, and we got to turn it around.
We'll go through practice today,
Yes.
and you think you're going to keep him in the starting lineup moving forward?
We'll see.
Major slippage defensively?
Both ends. Both ends. We're, defensively, we're it's a little bit of everything. Our pick and roll defense needs to be better. Our communication, our transition defense, our one-on-one defense. So it's in a lot of different areas. Teams are shooting the three really well against us the last 10 games. I think first 10 games we're about 6th in the league in three-point percentage, and we're about 28th, I think, over the last 10. So, and how they get their threes, it's various. Driving kicks. If you don't guard the ball, they kick it out. Transition threes, things like that.
Defensively, with Collins getting into foul trouble, how do you think that correlates with defense kind of slipping as a whole? Do you think it does it?
I don't. I mean, Zach's fouls, those happen. I don't think there's a correlation between our slippage on defense and his fouls. I mean, he's a young player, and we need him to be aggressive, need him to be smart. But as a team, we put ourselves in a foul position against the Clippers. Certainly, that was the free throw disparity was a big difference in the game, and a lot of that was us committing fouls, touch fouls, reaching fouls, being late to a play, things like that, where we have to anticipate better.
What was the thinking of going away from Nick in the second half last game?
Just playing Dame. The fourth quarter, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Dame played the whole second half. And because he did that basically he took Nick's minutes. And, I've trusted Dame for a long time, and felt like needed him to kind of get things back going the right way. It wasn't so much about going away from Nick. It was more about sticking with Dame.
Did Seth get minutes during that run too, though?
Seth was in almost the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah, so
He played like 10.5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
I guess you sort of went with Seth over Nick,
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
and that was just a feel.
Well, feel, but honestly, Dame, Seth, and CJ combo is really good. If you check the numbers, those three guys, it's one of the top threesomes in the league.
With Dame and CJ sitting them at different, not kind of staggering their minutes. You were sitting them at the same time early in the season. Now, last week, is that game by game? Is that just feel of the game, or how do you decide that?
They both sat in the second quarter. Our second unit did a really good job for probably the first 5-6 minutes of the second quarter. So in that case, we did. Now the second half, the third quarter threw everything out of whack. I mean, when you get beat by 22 in the third quarter, you have to adjust and make some tough decisions. But to your point, the bench still played together. Dame and CJ sat together in the first half.
About lineups, by some measures, the five-man lineup with the starters and Evan in place of Jake is the most efficient in
Right.
the league. And you used that a lot in the fourth quarter. Noticed. Is there any particular reason why you like that lineup, or why?
Well, I think the
because of
stack.
those numbers?
Yeah, I think they play well.
Before the stats, I would say so. I'm guessing you made that decision.
Chicken and the egg. Yeah, they play well together, and I'm comfortable with that lineup. Yeah.
Best answer to your own question.
Well, I'm assuming that Terry decided to do that before those numbers came out, so I was giving him the option of saying it was his decision rather than
like
the numbers,
I said,
but
yeah, chicken and the egg.
So which was it, the chicken or the egg?
Both.
Yeah.
The duckling.
Orlando's been playing well. What are your concerns for tomorrow, especially with you guys losing 3 in a row?
Losing 3 in a row has nothing really to do with tomorrow's game, other than hopefully we're play with a little bit of an edge. But Orlando's playing well, as you mentioned. Vucevic has always given us trouble. He's on a little bit of a roll. He's playing well. Terrence Ross is playing well. Evan Fournier's has been very aggressive scoring the ball. So Steve Clifford does a really good job with their team, and I think they've continued. They got off to a relatively slow start, but it seems like they continue to improve.